Implementation overview. How we set up the evaluation. The first thing we ask you to do is identify a group of target learners. You'll then use the What Worked Trial Wizard to randomly allocate these into intervention and control group. You'll then complete the pre-assessment spelling test with both the intervention and the control group. Over the next 6 weeks, the intervention group will receive the spelling strategy in small groups, and the control group will continue as business as normal. And then you will complete the post-assessment spelling task with both groups again. Once the data is inputted into the platform, it will generate an impact report. And if this is successful, then you can open this up to the control group. So let's look at this from a step-by-step approach. Step 1. Identify a group of target learners to participate in the evaluation. Step 2. Identify 50 challenging words from the National Curriculum Guidance. These will be introduced by 10 new spellings over 5 weeks. The 6th week is a consolidation week, and then you'll select 20 words from these, which will be used as the pre- and post-assessment task. Please note that the number of words depends on your school's expectations for the number of words taught per week. The minimum is 10 words per week, and this will create a list of 50 words for 5 weeks. The final week would be in the consolidation. Whilst it's advised that you would use the DFE spellings, you can also use different spellings if these are from your school's existing schemes of work and you follow the same process, i.e. a minimum of 50 words are selected, with 20 of these being used for the pre- and post-assessment task. Step 3. Using the trial wizard on the What Worked Teachers platform, randomly assign the learners to the intervention and control groups. So moving on to the implementation. You complete the pre-assessment spelling test with both the intervention and the control group. Record the marks in your Excel tracker and then input this into the pre-test on the trial wizard. Step 5. For the intervention group, deliver the targeted intervention. Use your professional judgment to decide the frequency and log this in the process evaluation. The control group will continue with business as usual for the duration of the trial. In step 6, complete the post-assessment spelling test, which is the same as the pre to both the intervention and control group. Record the marks in the Excel tracker and then input this into the post-test on the trial wizard. If you then complete the process evaluation and click Analyze, it will generate an impact report for your school. So a quick recap on the intervention. The target group focuses on Year 2 pupils. The intervention is delivered by a teaching assistant in small groups and can be set as homework. In the process evaluation, please indicate the frequency, such as how many times a week. It could also be delivered as a teacher in small groups as well. And the time, it takes approximately 10 minutes for each session. The intervention is a look, say, cover, write, check method, where you study a word, say the word aloud clearly, pay attention to the spelling, cover it up with a piece of paper or their hand, write the spelling next to the original word, check their version to see if they got it right, and then write the correct spelling again if necessary. And this version emphasizes reading and saying the word aloud to help connect the written and spoken word. How to select the spellings. The DFE Primary National Curriculum includes guidance on the expected spellings for Year 2. Please use this to create a spelling list of 50 words that you will select for the intervention. If you already have spellings decided in your scheme and these align to the DFE, this is fine. Then each week the learners will practice 10 new spellings using the look, say, cover, write, check strategy with a teaching assistant. Please note, if your school does use more than 10, this is absolutely fine. Just make a note of this in the process evaluation. In the resource folder, you will find the template for the look, say, cover, write, check. You will also find a one-page guidance for FAQs, and you'll also find guidance on the assessment, as well as a spreadsheet which allows you to track the students in your class to the anonymized student ID on the platform. So logistical barriers need to be considered before using a targeted spelling strategy as an intervention. So time, is there a suitable time in the day for the delivery in school? Location, is there a suitable location such as a library or classroom? Reminders, just to remind the students that they have the intervention. Resources, if you need the templates, can you print these in advance? And will you link this to any rewards? And finally, logistical barriers are common in any intervention delivered in schools, so it's just important to consider these prior to starting. So moving on to the assessment. So there's a one-page assessment guidance in the resource folder, but the outcome is the measure is attainment as defined by the pre and post-test spelling test. The assessment is marked out of 20, and it's the same for both the pre and the post. As both the control and intervention groups receive the same assessment, familiarity with this should not bias the impact. And just some final assessment guidance. Make sure you complete the assessment with test conditions. Allow approximately 10 to 15 minutes for the assessment. Provide an example of the word in a sentence for each spelling, and then just record your pre and post assessment scores on your tracking spreadsheet and then input these into the platform. So that's the end of your guidance. The next thing to do is to download your protocol, the resource folder, and then move on to the trial wizard.